All right, so we have Theo Chu with us. Theo is also part of the MSX cohort, and he's joining us just to talk about why he chose MSX and a little background. So let's just kind of get to know him. So hi, Theo.
Hi, Hannah. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So thanks for joining, and let's kind of start off with your background. How did you come into MSX? What were you doing before MSX?
Yeah, so I did my undergrad right in the Bay Area at UC Berkeley, electrical engineering and computer science. And I went through a couple of careers, first in finance, a couple of years in Singapore in finance, and then I transitioned back to the Bay Area, working in a tech startup as a software engineer. So I kind of switched careers, went back to kind of closer to what I did for my undergrad. And so the last 6 years, I've been climbing up the software engineering ladder, ended up managing a team and heading the engineering division of the startup. And then the last 2 years has been the startup getting acquired and then integrating the startup, helping supporting that process and integrating the bigger company. So that was my right up to a few months ago, just before the program started. And I kind of answered the second question about what's my plan for the MSX program. So I've always wanted to do entrepreneurship. It's something that is, I think, picked up when I was in my undergrad days at Berkeley. And just the culture, the vibe in the Bay Area, and it's something that I always want to do. And so coming back to the Bay Area 6-7 years ago, that was my intention. And just having the time spent in the startup, going through the experience, helped me to learn like what are the like the lessons, what worked, what didn't. And so I feel like I'm at the place where I'm ready to go all in and pivot into doing a startup. And that's what my MSX year is for, just going into that and launching a startup.
Are you in the boat where you came in having a rough idea of what you wanted to do, or did you come in wanting to explore and kind of open up to different opportunities?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, I I was still exploring. I kind of got a sense where like my interests are. One of the areas was, for example, like in my last role, managing a team of engineers, it really resonated with me with being able to mentor them, watch them grow in terms of like their careers, in terms of their knowledge in the role itself. And through that, I realized that I was like, I felt that sense of fulfillment from being able to impact them in a way. And so for me, I kind of came in with the program with that mindset, knowing that that's an area that I want to explore more in. And just within the first 2 months, talking to classmates, I realized that that is an area that I want to focus in on.
Mm.
Specifically, looking at helping job people to pivot, or looking within the career development, looking at how I can help people to build opportunity, and then specifically in helping people to transition to careers, maybe like pivoting jobs, those especially who have disrupted, those who have maybe lost their jobs because of COVID or maybe because of digitalization. So helping them make the transition and go into build the opportunity in a different industry or career.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's a really good field. It's very niche and it's obviously very in line with what you do, where you're trying to help other people, getting to know you. I know that's really important. So I guess because we've only had one quarter, right, so far from MSX, what's been your experience so far?
It's been very intense. Not enough sleep. I think we all have felt that. The amount of work, readings, projects, assignments, there's just an overload of all of the work there. But at the same time, the classes have been very fulfilling as well.
Mhm.
I think that's the intensity has led us to really like put our focus in and put our all in it. And I think we're getting more out of the experience because of that. And then great classmates. So like I love the interaction, the participation from like everyone in the class. Like I'm sure you've seen it as well, but like our classmates bring their experiences,
Right.
bring like especially their international backgrounds into the discussions, and so that really adds a lot of like color and detail into and makes the discussion more relevant and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're kind of a unique situation because you also have family, you have young kids. How have you found the school life and family balance to be?
So I'm lucky in a sense. My wife has been helping me a lot. She's been shouldering a lot of that burden.
Mm.
I I think it's definitely a struggle, especially with us being short of time. I try to have dinner, like normally having dinner with my family, if possible in the afternoon, spend time with my daughter, son. So usually especially for the afternoon meetings, sometimes I have my daughter, like she's an 11-month-old baby, just cradle my arm while attending lectures or meetings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely a challenge in terms of balancing study and personal life. A lot of times it's just trying to making sure that dedicating time for them and also doing that concurrently if possible.
Yeah. Kind of curious, like how many hours have you been spending, do you think, dedicated to both class and homework and studying for things on average?
Like per week?
Mhm.
That's a good question. Maybe 5, 6 hours, 5, 6 hours. So maybe 30 hours, 30 to 35 hours per week.
Mhm.
I was auditing this class. So actually, I'm not supposed to say, but I was auditing this class. So that added a bit of workload as well.
Right. And then for the next quarter, this will be the last question. What are you most excited about?
What am I most excited about? There are some really interesting classes. So actually, maybe I'm kind of going to cheat a bit, and maybe two things I'm excited about. One is there are some really interesting classes that we have lined up. So there's this action learning program, ALP. So it's a class where you get a hands-on experience. In my case, it will be I'm in the ALP 304, which is scaling a small business. So
That's
I'm
my favorite. That's the one I'm looking most forward to as well. I'm in that.
oh yeah. So that's I think that's going to be a cool class where you get a hands-on and you get to experience work with a as you know, like work with a founder to see how they scale their startup. I think second one will be I'm working with JY on exploring the problem space for job pivoters. So
Mm.
we're looking to an area that we're looking to flesh out more and then prep for Startup Garage in the summer.
Got it. Oh yeah, that's pretty exciting. That's
Yeah.
another one that I'm super excited about as well. Yeah. So I guess in one word, or I guess one answer, are you glad you decided to go through this journey?
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your time, Theo.
Thank you, Hannah.